The year is 2006. Nintendo just released their newest console featuring motion controls, and it's being heavily marketed towards families. And it pops the fuck off, cementing its legacy as being one of the best-selling consoles of all time. Chances are, if you're my age, you had a Wii. And if you didn't, you absolutely knew someone that did, and you probably played on it a few times. Basically, what I'm trying to say is everyone has had some experience with this console. But we're not here to talk about the Wii. We're here to talk about the series of games tailor-made for this console during its lifetime, the Wii Series games. Just like the console they came on, many people have had some experience with at least one of these games. It was pretty hard not to have a good time playing most of them. But why is that? Why were these games with no big IP attached to them so enjoyable? Let's discuss. First though, let's talk about the games themselves. Wii Sports, arguably one of the most recognizable video games of all time. Wii Sports is that girl. It came packaged with every Wii console as a free pack-in game, making it one of the best-selling games ever. So even if you don't know any other game in this lineup, you damn well know this one. It features 5 sports: tennis, baseball, bowling, golf, and boxing, all with simple controls so anyone could pick up a Wii remote and play it fairly easily. Simple, yet iconic. It also has an equally as iconic sequel, that being Wii Sports Resort. That one was released in 2009 and made use of the Wii Motion Plus feature. It came with 12 sports, some of the most notable being swordplay, basketball, and air sports. Wii Play, also a launch title, introduced even more ways the Wii remote could be used. It has 9 mini-games, the most notable being fishing, Find Me, and tanks. Not as notable as Wii Sports, but in my opinion is still just as fun. It also had a sequel that came out in 2011 called Wii Play Motion, which used the Wii Motion Plus feature. It had 12 mini-games total and was actually the final game in the Wii series to be released on the Wii. Wii Fit. Coming out in 2007, this was Nintendo's attempt at a fitness game, and also probably gave a lot of people body image issues because holy shit, that scale was so unforgiving. Despite this game requiring a bulky accessory that made the entire package cost $90 US, it actually was pretty popular and sold well. That accessory is the Wii Balance Board, which could measure your weight, posture, and balance. It included 18 mini-games total, which focused on yoga, balance, and aerobics. It also had a successor called Wii Fit Plus, which came out in 2009. It had all the original mini-games plus 6 more, and also included new features like a calorie counter. Wii Party. Released in 2010, it was Mario Party, but with Mii's. It had 80 mini-games total, with party modes such as Board Game Island, Balance Boat, and House Party. Not as popular as the others, but also a really fun time. Wii Music. Released in 2008, this one was fairly controversial. It didn't really have much gameplay. Instead, you picked an instrument, moved the Wii remote or nunchuck around, pressed some buttons, and pretended to play music. That was kind of it. Full disclosure, I actually liked this one as a kid. Sorry. I loved the cat and dog suit. I thought they were hilarious. But I can't even say this one sold the worst because there was actually Wii Chess. So not many people know about this game, not only because it's just a less than interesting idea for a video game, but also because it only sold physically in Europe and digitally in Japan. That was it. It's chess on the Wii. Not much else to say. So those were the games. Now back to the point of the video. Why were they so fun? Once again, the Wii was a console made first and foremost for families, so what better way to exemplify that than making a series of games that prove just how easy it is to pick up and play. Taking away the frustration of having to learn and memorize multiple controls is a huge factor in what made these games so enjoyable, in my opinion. This also meant that your family had no excuse not to play with you as a kid because even they could understand it. Even better when you had friends over and they could play it too. Those overacted commercials of families playing these games weren't that far off from reality. They tell you how to play the minigame you picked, and then you play it. Simple as that. Even when it wasn't as simple, they gave you even simpler instructions. Most of the time though, it was easier just to play the games and learn that way because the learning curve was basically non-existent. The novelty of motion controls also adds to this. Instead of having to know what buttons to press to punch the opponent in boxing, you can just punch them physically and in multiple different ways. Or just point and shoot the targets quickly rather than having to move joysticks to land on one. And let's not forget the sword fighting sport in Wii Sports Resort. I know damn well as kids we just swung as violently as possible and hoped for the best half the time. The simplicity combined with the motion controls just made for fun and engaging games. Since motion controls were a newer concept at the time, the games felt very innovative because they utilized a mechanic that had not been widely used before as their main selling point. Another thing that added to their simplicity was the design of them all. Each game had their own corresponding color, so you knew which one you were playing. And some of the game's UIs matched with the clean white of the Wii itself, adding the game's respective colors as an accent. No confusing menus or not knowing where to click. Almost everything had a label so you knew exactly what you were pressing and where it was going to take you. Then there's the decision to put Mii's at the forefront of these games, which in my opinion made them even better. Since you could add any Mii you wanted to these games, you got to play as you. You're the one wakeboarding, you're the one walking a tightrope, your face is on the cue ball. They put you at the center of your gameplay. This also meant that games that allowed more than one player could include other Mii's as well, so everyone got to be represented. So yes, at the end of the day, these games are simple, but that doesn't mean that they're boring. Ask literally anyone that played them, it's just hard not to have a good time. That brings up another question though. If I'm painting these games out to be so iconic, what kind of legacy did they leave? Before the Wii came out, video games were seen as something almost exclusively for kids or for people that had the skill to play them. A lot of people, specifically my age, credit the Wii Series games as being their gateway to video games. They proved that no matter how old you were or what your previous experience with video games was, you could just pick up and play them. This also led Nintendo to continue making more casual and inclusive games, capitalizing on the ones they already had, such as the Cooking Mama, Animal Crossing Tomodachi Life, and Nintendog series, all of which have seen great success. But more important than the legacy left in gaming is the legacy left on the people that played them. So many people remember these games fondly. I know quite a few people that still have a Wii that still play these games from time to time. And thanks to YouTubers like Poofisher who play these games regularly and share those experiences online, this series of games has not lost its spark just yet. I mean, games like Wii Sports and Wii Fit are still being used to this day in rehabilitation facilities and nursing homes. That's so cool. At the end of the day, were these all just glorified tech demos for the Wii's motion controls? Yes. Would they have done much better had they had Mario's face slapped on the cover of each of them? Who knows? The idea that games can be simple, social, and sometimes physical without sacrificing fun is something a lot of modern developers are still chasing today, including Nintendo themselves. And that's not something nostalgia can make an excuse for. That's what made these games not just fun, but good. Thank you for watching. Bye!